What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today I want to talk a little bit about Guilty Gear Strive Season 3. So, usually when a game gets like a big update or even like a new version, like let's say Guilty Gear Xrd Sign to Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator, or BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma to BlazBlue Central Fiction, they won't just do balance changes, but sometimes characters will get new moves straight up. But Guilty Gear Strive, this was a little weird, and they were like, hey guys, we are going to give characters new moves. They're not really clear on who is going to get new moves. Some people say it's just the original characters, the base cast will get the new moves. Some people are like, everyone will get new moves eventually. But only 6 characters got new moves in this patch. These characters are Anji, Giovanna, Mei, Ino, Faust, and finally, Ramblethal. It's been over a month since the Guilty Gear Strive Season 3 patch dropped, so not only have I been getting comfortable with the Baiken changes, of which there was a ton, and just the game changes in general, because there was a ton of system changes, but also getting used to fighting these new moves. And since there's only a small group of characters that have new moves, I figured I'd share my thoughts on how I feel about them. So today I'm going to be ranking the new moves in Guilty Gear Strive. So we'll be going from the bottom up from this. So in my opinion, the worst new move is Mei. So Mei has 2 new follow-ups to her S Dolphin. They're called Whiff and Split, respectively. Whiff is basically what it sounds like. So she hops off the dolphin, and Split is more of this leap thing that she does where she hops off the dolphin. These moves are both actionable on phase 27, so basically what this means is once she starts doing the thing, she can act. So one thing about this one is that she gets her air options, so not only can she attack, but she could do things like air movement as well. Now these have various applications in both offense and neutral. So for example, if you take the split, you can use it to avoid, say, 6p. Some people try to 6p over stuff. So you can use it for baits in neutral. You can use the whiff to set up mix-up situations and opportunities like this as well. But despite the new tools, they did actually nerf her S Dolphin. So in the previous patch, they made it so that the S Dolphin recovered faster than before. It used to be -5 on block. Now it is -3, which is a really big deal for her. So in this patch, they made it so that she bounces much closer. So even though she's safe, it's hard for her to eject from the situation and control the situation once again. So even though I think Mei's new move is like it does good stuff, I think that plus the combination of the nerfed S Dolphin makes this the weakest new move in the game. So next up we have Faust. He has a new move that's a derivative of his item throw, and we all know how much I love item throw. So in this game, he tosses item throw way slower than previous versions of Guilty Gear. However, there's no limit truly to how much you could use the move. Normally, there's like special rules around how much you can use the item throw special move in Arc Sys games. While this is strong, because the item throw takes so long, a very common strategy against him would be to block normals and then dash at him so that when he does an item throw, you can react to it with a long range attack and punish him. Cool, by the way. Nice defense, Faust. So the nice thing about the item eat is that it's another move that helps him make his string safer. And it looks pretty similar, basically identical to him throwing an item. One of Faust's huge problems in this game is fighting dash block. I can relate. Dash block is kind of annoying for Baiken, but she has like good counterplay against it if you dig like really deep. For Faust, it's really obnoxious to deal with, so having another move to help him fight this is very nice. Of course, you could use the item storage for like really specific setups that reward mastery of the character. One downside of this move though is that you can't see which item he pulls and then choose to throw it or eat it. I don't know if they did this on purpose. I guess they did, you know, but maybe they'll change this in the future. I have a memory of Faust having like a held item in Xrd where you could hold it and see what item you got first before you used it. So for example here, I'm gonna be Faust. I wanted to eat that. I'm finding that I want hammer, but I let go of the button, but I couldn't throw the hammer. So I think that's one pretty big flaw of the move. Is like you have to commit to holding an item, but you have it for later anyway, so you can use that at another time in a safer situation. So I think it's okay. Next up we have Geo. Geo has a new move called, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, Chave. If you haven't seen it, it looks like this. So this move upgrades Giovanna's special moves. So this one's pretty interesting because it's one move that affects 4 different moves. For example, the Spiral Arrow gets upgraded into a very advantageous Guard Crush. The Spiral Arrow itself is advantageous already, but it makes her Oki even stronger if you don't have a reversal to challenge the move. Another example would be her Flip Kick. So if I did the normal one, you don't really get a combo off this without using additional meter. But while this is a simple follow-up, there's way more hits done on the powered up version. So again, while this move does upgrade existing moves, it affects a lot of her attacks. Again, it upgrades all 4 of her special moves. It doesn't really fix anything. So, for example, Item Eat. Item Eat actually helps Faust with a pretty big problem he had. He's bad against dash blocking, his strings aren't that safe, his strings have like big flaws, right? Where this is just like another way for Geo to do the thing that she is doing to you anyway. While it's really nice, and I think it's strong, that's why I have it as number 4. So number 3 is Ramaphel's new move. This move is called Ondo. It is a huge rock that is not fast, but it's +7. This move honestly is pretty crazy. She can use it in a lot of different ways on knockdowns and in pressure. So for example, after a super wall break, she could just do it as a meaty and she's very far and she's advantageous here. So the reason why I think this move is really strong is that it gives a new advantageous situation for Ram in spots where defenders are not usually used to looking for them. So while Ram has always been considered a really strong character in this game, one of her recurring problems was that she wasn't very strong mid-screen. We're all familiar with how strong Ram's pressure is in the corner, how varied it is, how she's able to loop it, her big return, her combo conversion ability in the corner is really good. We're all pretty familiar with this. She can't really act the same way in mid-screen just because of the way her swords work. So a lot of characters had strategies of like just dashing at Ram and forcing her to use like kick buttons instead of slashes, because while these moves are amazing, she wasn't super good at following them up unless she was near the corner or had resources. But now, thanks to not just this, but this being faster, she's able to operate at this range with follow-ups and be way more threatening. This suite of options of 5H into rock, 5H into flip kick, and 5H into weight makes her more open-ended, but not just this too, and the knockdown things I described before, but it also gives her more flexibility, because there are times before where she wouldn't be able to follow up directly with offense when she tossed the sword, but now you just have more things to look for from a character that's really good at keeping their advantage, really good at converting things, and does a lot of damage. So number 2 is Anji. So Anji has a new move called Midare. So if you haven't seen it, it's a follow-up to his spin attack, and instead of the normal spin, he'll do this and follow up with a water crushing hard knockdown type move. So what does this move do? This move fixes Anji's biggest problem with spin. Anji's spin is like a guard point. It's pretty annoying to deal with if you don't know how to fight it. Normally, especially if you're new, someone might tell you to do something like this, like, oh, dash at him, and then when you see it, throw. But that's pretty committal. There were options you could use that were pretty safe that he couldn't really do anything about. So one would be if you had a good big jab, you would be safe to him doing anything. So for example, I did it with Zato. And I have this recording here of Anji just mashing after the spin. So I'm going to do jab. And I'm able to recover no problem here. Where if I use another move like 2S, another commonly used Zato move, it's an easy punish. This also applies to projectiles. So if I do like this, I'm able to move while Anji is spinning. So this actually puts Anji in a pretty bad spot. So what Anji's new move does then is that it fights this thing. It punishes jabs, and it causes a guard crush on block. So in the case they use some super safe projectile, I jumped into this case, so I got pushed away. But let's say if I just held it, then I block a +11 guard crush. And when it's successful, you get to set up Butterfly on Oki. So I think this move is really, really good. There is counterplay to this move, but usually the opponent needs resources or needs something really specific to fight it. So this move greatly, greatly helps him using spin. And finally, I think the best new move in the game comes from Ino. It is, I don't really know what this move is called. It's called Mad Love Agitato. So it's not a fast move, but you can see it causes a guard crush. So this move does a couple of things. So one, this move helps with corner to corner combos. So here's an example with one. It's really good at corner carry. where I carry just like this. But the other big thing is that it lets her attack from an angle that she doesn't normally attack from. She has a hover dash, and usually you have to wait quite a bit, so she's launching from the ground to the air with the attack. So even though the attack's not fast, it looks like her hover dash is hard to distinguish. One of her big problems was always her movement being too linear. So they've done multiple things like her having longer air dashes, speeding her up, making her be able to block out of her hover faster, and she still has her traditional low profiling moves, and hover dash goes over lows. So having another angle of attack makes her less linear, which helps her out a lot. So yeah, those are my thoughts on what are the best new moves in the game. So in order from top to bottom now, I think the best one is Ino's new move, Mad Love Agatato, MLA. I think they could just call it MLA. Then Anji's new move to follow up to his spin, Midare. After that, Ramathal's new move, Ondo, the big rock. After that, Giovanna's new move, Chave, which it upgrades all her special moves. After that, Faust's item eat. And last, May's hopping off the dolphin and hopping off the dolphin. She hops off the dolphin off both of them. Okay, whiff and split. We gotta call the moves what they are. So the most important thing to me are moves that help problems the characters already had while also making them better at the same time. So I think all the new moves are good, but May's comes at the trade of a nerf. That's basically the reason why I think it's the weakest, where I think Ino's new move and Anji's new move not only fixes a problem they had, but also creates like new situations for them that are really strong. Let me know what you guys think though. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. If you want to follow me on things like Instagram and stuff, do that too. And we'll see you next time. Peace out.